What's up, always? Here with the Week 8 review. Obviously, most of you guys know today is the NFL trade deadline, and we had quite a bit of trades today. Not really much for me to cover because it was already discussed in the chat. Obviously, I think all in all there was like 10 trades today. A couple not really significant players, but some guys who are definitely some key players for some teams getting moved. So we'll see if their value goes up, or obviously some defensive players, how that affects some of the defenses out there. But we'll see how it goes. I will jump into the review. It was a big week in fantasy. A lot of points were scored. A lot of players scoring a lot of touchdowns this week. So scores were probably a little higher than normal. I won my matchup mainly because I was playing probably the worst team in the league. So I got very lucky. My team put up over 100 points, but I want to say it was like near the bottom in scoring anyways. But we'll look at my matchup first, and my team is not doesn't look pretty. I had Daniel Jones, who got 9. Obviously had CMC, who had a passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and receiving touchdown. First player to do that since, I think, LaDainian Tomlinson, so quite a while. He had 36 for me. I had 25 out of Nick Chubb. I had 13 out of the Eagles defense. And then probably everything else combined was like 15 points. Like just shit across the board. 0 out of Bateman. 0 out of my kicker because somehow the Raiders couldn't score a point, or move the ball past the 50-yard line until the final 2 minutes of the game, which just blows my mind. Cortland Sutton had 1 catch. I mean, I did have Gesicki at tight end. He had 11, so not too bad there. Decided to play Darrell Henderson at running back. Got me 4 points, and I had Foreman on the bench who had 32, so kind of sucks there. Luckily, I got the win, so I don't have to worry about it, but something I got to think about, I guess, moving forward, make better choices. Other team was Jason C. His team sucks, so he only put up 64 points. Derek Carr with 2 points. Najee Harris, 9. He's going to probably go down as the worst first-round pick, in my opinion. Josh Jacobs finally came back to earth, with only 6. T. Higgins got 12. 0 out of Marvin Jones. He did get 10 out of his kicker, but everything is single digits on his team except his kicker and Higgins. It's just not a recipe for winning. Did have Kenyon Drake on the bench, who had 15. Chase Claypool on the bench, who had a passing touchdown and got 11. But not much else going on there. Next matchup we have a close one here. It was Dalton versus Josh. It was 117 for Dalton and 111 for Josh. Josh could not get a miracle out of Joe Burrow. I guess it would have been a miracle. He only needed 6 more points. But Burrow had his lowest scoring game of the season, only getting 13.5. We'll look at Dalton's team first, though. Tom Brady had a decent day for Tom Brady, given how his season's going, with 17. Aaron Jones had 18. Godwin had 11. Tyreek Hill, massive day, just couldn't find the end zone, 26. Double-digit points out of his defense and kicker, always a good recipe for winning. Devontae Adams got him 0.7. I mean, that's rough. Jonathan Taylor with 5.5. That's pretty rough. Has Hawkinson. I'm sure you guys saw he's on Minnesota now, with 10 there. Had some double-digit points on the bench. Nyheim Hines is now in Buffalo with 12. Duvernay on the bench had a rushing touchdown with 14. Melvin Gordon had a touchdown with 13. So he could have got some more points here or there, but obviously you're not benching Jonathan Taylor, and you're not benching none of his receivers. Maybe you bench Kirk for somebody, but it is what it is. You got the W. Looking at Josh's team, where he talked about his quarterback, Derrick Henry had a massive day with 35. CD Lamb had 16. DK Metcalf with 15. Nice day out of him. And, given he was, probably not expected to play, given the injury he suffered last week, but I guess the man is a freak, and it didn't bother him, and he toughed it out and went out there. Dallas defense got him 10. Did have Tua on the bench, who had 29, so if he plays Tua over Joe Burrow, it's a much different story. He gets the W there. Obviously, there are some teams in the league who need quarterback. I don't see why anybody would want to stack two on the bench on their team. I don't understand it because you can only play one. You should try to make the best starting lineup possible, but to each his own. Looks like he played. I have to click on this player because I don't even know who he is. He played Raheem Blackshear. I guess he's a running back for the Panthers. Never heard of him, which is pretty shocking, for myself. He had 2 carries for 1 yard. I'm not really sure. Obviously I know Hubbard was hurt, but why playing a backup running back on a team that's not good to begin with? I don't really understand that, but it is what it is. Cost them the victory. Next up, we got Garrett number 2 versus Garrett number 1. Garrett Pastor won this one 141 to 116. So we'll take a look at Garrett Pastor's team first. Andy Dalton with 17. Ramondre Stevenson with 18. Tony Pollard, who he just traded for, 33 points, massive day. Jerry Jeudy with 15. Thielen with 10. Jalen Waddle, who he also traded for, 27. So, he got fucking 60 points out of the 2 guys he traded for. Now, granted, he did give up Cooper Kupp, his number 1 pick, for him, but at least this week worked out very, very well for him. Brandon Ayuk had 17. He got negative points out of his defense and kicker. I'm not really sure if I've seen anybody win when they get negative points out of the defense and kicker, but he pulled it off, and it wasn't close. So kudos to him for that. Looking over here at Garrett's team, Kyler Murray did well with 25. Leonard Fournette found the end zone but didn't do much else, had 13. Tyler Algier had 16. DJ Moore had 25 points and also extremely costly penalty. Now, I'm not a Panthers fan, and I know obviously a lot of Panthers fans, the typical fan wants to win. I actually think the way they lost is probably the best case scenario. Like, you don't really want to win. You want to get a better draft pick, but when you can compete and still lose, then I almost feel like you're only a couple players away from, really being a good team. So, kudos to them. I actually don't think it's that bad what happened. He had Donovan Peoples-Jones get him 10. Had Kirk Cousins on the bench, had a nice day, so he played the right quarterback. It's just some injuries on his team, bye week guy. Next up, we have Jason F. versus Michael. Michael got back on the winning track here, 137 to 115. Looking at Jason's team, Josh Allen actually had a average day for a quarterback with 17, probably his lowest scoring game of the year. Tyler Boyd found the end zone with 11. DeAndre Hopkins has been a monster since he's came back, 28 points. His target share is insane. Like, Kyler Murray almost throws him the ball half the fucking time. Mike Evans with 15. Kyle Pitts had a decent day getting in the end zone with 17. And just not much else going on there. Brian Robinson with 2. Devin Singletary had 9. And with them getting Nyheim Hines, he probably loses any kind of passing down work he was getting. Not much else going on there. Looking at Michael's team, he was able to get the W even without Travis Kelce. He had Jalen Hurts at 28. Kenny Walker got him 12. Obviously, A.J. Brown had a massive day with 37. Miles Sanders had 14, 11 out of his kicker. He picked up Dalton Schultz, threw him 10 points at tight end, which is solid. So overall, good day from him. Did have Jamal Williams on the bench who had 21, so he could have got some more points there. Next up, we have Dakota versus Ray. Dakota won this one 139 to 100. I'm looking at Dakota's team. Geno Smith with 19. Alvin Kamara had his best day of the season with 38. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 10. Cooper Kupp got him 19, but did hurt his ankle on a minute left in that game. Not sure why he was out there, given they were getting their ass whooped. So we'll see how he heals up from that. George Kittle with 11. Saquon with 14. Kicker got him 10. Had Romeo Doubs on the bench who had 14. Madison on the bench with 10. So could have got a few more points here or there. but nothing too crazy. Looking at Ray's team, Aaron Rodgers got him 15. Antonio Gibson got him 17. Jefferson with 13. Jefferson's really been I feel like chill recently. I guess the past 3 weeks because he had a bye week, but 2 weeks below 15. He's had 3 monster weeks, 2 shit weeks, and 2 average weeks. It's very up and down. Zach Ertz got a touchdown got him 11. Garrett Wilson had 15, and just a lot of single-digit points across the board. Outside of Jefferson, his receivers look just awful that he had in the lineup. Mooney, Campbell, I guess Garrett Wilson's up and down. Obviously had a lot of guys on bye week with some Chiefs players and Keenan Allen on bye, and didn't have Elliott because Elliott was out with injury. Doesn't have J.K. Dobbins either. So a lot of injuries going on there in the bye weeks. And then last matchup we have is one of the closer ones. I believe it might have been the closest. This is Kenny versus Derek. Kenny won this one 130 to 127. Derek was led by Lamar Jackson with 22. Dalvin Cook had 23. DeAndre Swift with 12. Terry McLaurin with 14. Amari Cooper with 20. Tyler Lockett with 13. Nearly all his players scored touchdowns, and he still lost. Got 0 out of his defense, which doesn't help. If he would have played Dak over Lamar, he would have got the. I think shit. .6. I think he still. I'd have to fucking pull out a calculators too, because I think he still would have lost by .02 or something if he played Dak over Lamar. But once again, another team hoarding fucking quarterbacks. Looking over here at Kenny's team, Jared Goff got him 18. Damian Pierce got 13. Etienne looked very good in the London game with 24 points. Jacoby Myers got 17. Stephon Diggs with 20. Him and Jair Alexander were going at it quite a bit in that game. Latavius Murray got him 12, 10 out of the defense. Had Khalil Herbert on the bench who had 16. Rondale Moore on the bench with 20. Good days out of those guys. I know there's some decent players to pick up on waivers this week. There is a fuck ton of buys. I think I played Garrett Pastor this week, and I think each of us has 5 or 6 guys on bye week. So I'm very curious to see how waivers go tomorrow, and there's probably going to be some players that get dropped that are going to be worth picking up as well. You got to field the lineup somehow, so you got to do what you got to do. But best of luck to everybody. I will have power rankings up, obviously, here shortly, and I look forward to the rest of the season. See ya.